Okay, so today's lesson, we're going to start fraction and percentage of a quantity from textbook, New Century Maths Year 8. I'm going to start the example 12 here. There's 4 parts. First part, it says 1/5 times 45. Now, easiest way of doing any of these questions will be just using calculator, but let's have a look at the question and solve it without using calculator first. Okay, I mean, using calculator, checking the answers will be fantastic. Okay, so 1/5 here and times 45. I'm going to change this one to fraction as well, 45/1. Okay, now with that, I could just do 1 times 45 because all the numerators together, all the denominator together with a times. 5 times 1. Okay, and that will give me 45/5. Okay, and then I could simplify this with the 5s, because how many 5s going to 5? Ones. How many 5s going to 45? 9 times. So this is really 9/1, but we don't really write it 1 here. Just remember that when anything is over 1, we don't write it. So answer will be 9. Okay. Now that will be a bit longer way of doing it. Now, quicker way. Now you know how it works. I'm just going to go straight into, put it into here. So it becomes 45, or if you want, 1 times 45/5. So that'll be the quickest way, because sometimes the 1 is not there. So it could be like 2, could be 3. So you need to times it. Okay. And this will become 45/5, which is exactly the same as here, right there. And then you simplify. Okay. Simplify with, because 45 and 5 is a family of 5s, isn't it? So I'm going to go cancel. Well, simplify. So that's 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 45 9 times. And again, we do not worry about over 1. Okay. We worry about it when 1 is on the top of the fraction, but it's on the bottom denominator. We don't worry about it. So the answer to this question is just 9. Okay. Now, this one is easy one now because I'm going to use a calculator. So, and your calculator, obviously, you use the fraction button. It'll be 1/5 times 45 equals 9. But this question might be in a section where you can't use a calculator. So it's good to practice without using calculator, but also it's good to use calculator to check your answer. Okay, so next question, I'm going to have a look. 7/8 times $32. So be careful, we got some units happening here. So your answer should have the unit as well. So 7/8 times 32. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put straight this 32 onto my numerator. So it'll be 7 times 32 all over 8. Now, of course, it's easier to put just simplify or put it in a calculator. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this again without using calculator. So I can't simplify with 7 and 8, but I can simplify 32 and 8. Okay, so how many 8's going to 8? Ones. How many 8's going to 32? 4. 4 8's, 32. So what I have simplifying here, it's a 7 still there. I didn't do anything with it. And 32 becomes 4/1. Okay, and remember, we are not going to worry about over 1. So the answer will be just 7 times 4, which is 28. But we have to put dollars. So it's going to be $28. In the question, it didn't really say in months, but I'll put that in there. Why? Because if I do 1/3 of, meaning times 1 year, it's going to be just 1/3. Same thing. So nothing changes. So it's good to change anything the unit into smaller unit. Okay, so I'm going to change that. So 1/3 of is times 1 year. I'm changing into months, not days, months. So how many months in a year? 12 months. So I'm going to put that in there. Okay, so again, I'm going to put 1 times 12/3. 12/3. Of course, we can simplify this. 3 once goes to once, it goes into 4 times. So it'll be, answer will be not just 4 months. D, next part. Okay, so it's a 4/5 of times 2 kilograms, but we need to change it to kilograms into grams. So I'll put the unit diagram, okay, here. So you need to memorize this, guys. The good thing about this one is everything is times by 1,000 or divided by 1,000. Anything with a kilograms, grams, milligrams, or ton, it's times by 1,000 or divided by 1,000. Okay, so let's have a look. We are converting kilograms to grams. So from here going to here, that's just going from here to here, which is times by 1,000. Okay, times by 1,000. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to convert 2 kilograms to 2,000 grams first. Okay, and then I'm going to do my calculation. So 4/5 times, instead of 2 kilograms, I'm going to write it 2,000 grams. Okay, now, and then I'm going to put all that into 4 times 2,000 all over 5. Now, 4 and 5, we can't cancel. I can't simplify because they're not in the same family. But 2005, I can simplify, right? So if you look at 2000 and divided by 5, just think about this part, 20. How many 5s going to 20? 4 times. So whole thing is 400. So 5 goes to 2,400 times. Okay, so that's what it means. So it's 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 2,400 times. So what does that mean? It means 4 times 400 grams, which is 1,600 grams, 1,600. Okay, a little bit of a summary before we start the next example. It says to find a percentage of a quantity, calculate percentage over 100 times quantity, or like over something, fraction, we can convert it into division, isn't it? So it means percentage divided by 100, same thing as over 100, times quantity. Now, easier way to remember is it says per cent or per century, isn't it? Like a percentage, I just remember as a century. Now, how many years in a 1 century? 100. And anything with a per hour, per kilograms, or something like that is divided by. Okay, so if you want to get rid of the percentage, per century, or even if you want like percent, like how many cents, a dollar, 100. So anything with a per something is divided by. So keep that in mind. We're going to use that. Okay, there are 3 parts in this example. I'm going to do one by one. And remember to use the correct units for your answer. Okay, for first one here, we got 8% of $400. So remember, of means times, okay? Now, we got this 8% here, and I don't want to use 8% because we don't want that percentage on our answer. So we need to get rid of it. So how am I going to get rid of it? It's 8 over 100 or 8 divided by 100. And then of means times and 400. That's what we're going to do. Okay? I mean, without using calculator, it'll be like 8 times 400 all over 100. Okay? Now, I think easiest way to simplify is get rid of these zeros right there. Okay? And then we got 1 here, so we don't have to worry about. So all I've got is on the top 8 times 4. So I have $32 because 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, so next one, 12.5% of 1 hour. So I'm going to change this 1 hour, okay, 1 hour to minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, isn't it? Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. Now, 12.5%, I'm going to put 12.5 over 100, okay? Of course, you feel free to use 12.5 divided by 100. That works as well. So let's do that way. 12.5 divided by 100. Okay, so that's the percentage part. Okay, and then times of is times. And then I've got 1 hour. I need to change it to 60 minutes. Okay, and put that in your calculator. You will get 7.5 minutes. Now, if I did over 100 and then times by 60, on my calculator, it'll give me a fraction. It'll come up with a fraction like a 15 over 2. Okay, but I want it to be in a minutes with a decimal, that you need to use this button called SD button. S stands for standard, D is the decimal. So we're going to change the standard to decimal, which is standard here is the fraction. So 15 over 2, if you press that button, it will change converted to 7.5. So that way, you know it's 7.5 minutes. Part C. Okay, we need to convert 3 meters to centimeters. Again, we got this unit diagram. Meters to centimeters, it's times by 100. Now, if you didn't know, could you please memorize this because it's really useful. So 20%, I'm going to use 20 over 100 times is of. Now, because it says 3 meters to centimeters, I'm going to convert that to 3 times 100. And that'll give me centimeters there. Okay, so that'll be, and I'll just put all that in to the denominator, 100. Again, it's good that it's got 100. The percentage on the bottom is 100 because I can just cancel this. And I just got 3. So all on the top, what I've got here is 20 times 3. Okay? Because I don't have to worry about the 1 on the bottom. We don't have to worry about that. So the answer is 60. What's a unit? Centimeters. Okay? Make sure you put your units. Okay? Always think about the units. Now, next question is, there's 3 questions, but it's a worded question, applying question. So let's have a look at that. First one, 12% of the 525 swimmers at the swimming carnival wore black caps. How many swimmers wore black caps? Okay, so what are the information we have here? So I'm going to write all the information I have. 12% and then 525. So 12% people were wearing black cap and total number of people is 525 people. And we need to know, this is the question, we need to know number of people who are wearing with black cap. That's what we want to know. Okay, so what are we going to do? 12% of 525 is what we're looking for, isn't it? Because that's the how many people wearing a black caps. So I'm going to go 12 over 100 times 525, and I will put that into the calculator over 100. I mean, you don't really need this part if you're going to use a calculator. Okay, so this ones I will just use a calculator because it's a bigger number there. If you do that, you'll get 63 people. There were 63 people were wearing black caps. Okay, so that's my answer. Let's have a look at the next question. Okay, Harola earns $17.20 an hour in her part-time job. Okay, well, that's not bad, $17.20 for 1 hour. If she is given a 5% pay increase, lucky for her, and by how much does her hourly rate increase? So let's grab all the information we need. $17.20 per hour. Okay, per hour. And she had 5% pay increase. Okay, so there are two ways of doing this. So I'm going to write, first way is to find the 5% of $17.20 first. Okay, $17.20 first. And then we're going to add that 5% into $17.20. So 5% of $17.20 is 5 over 100 times $17.20. And you put that in your calculator, you will get 0.86 cents. So therefore, okay, that's the method A. Let's call it as A first. Okay, so the total hourly rate will be $17.20 plus 86 cents, which is $18.06. But if I do a little bit different way, I think I can do it in a one step instead of doing two steps, like finding a 5% first and adding on to the how much she was earning in the first place. Now, the second method is we are using 100% plus 5%, which is 105%. Think of this way. The Harola is getting $17.20. That's like she's getting paid 100% of her wage, isn't it? 100%, right? She's not getting paid less or more. She's just getting 100%. So $17.20 is her 100%. Okay, and then we're adding 5% on top of that. So therefore, she will get paid 105%. So instead of getting 5% and adding on, I'm just going to find 105% of $17.20 times 17.20. So 105% over 100. Now you might think, oh, it's a more than 100. Can we have a more than 100? Yes, you can have a more than 100. So don't worry too much. So if Harola gets a 10% pay increase, that would be 110%. Okay, so put that in your calculator. You will get exactly the same as the other one, $18.06. Okay, so there is a method A, method B, A might be the most common way of doing it, but B is not a bad idea to do it. It's shorter and it's not hard to understand. Okay, next one. It says 1/20th. 1/20th. That's just the 1/20th. That's just a fraction of the cars produced in a factory were found to have a steering defects. If 340 cars were produced, how many has steering defects? Now, there's no percentage involved. It's actually fraction. So, but that's okay. That's not a problem. So we got the information that 1/20th of cars had a defect. Okay. So, and that's a total number of cars. Okay. So we need to know, this is the question we have to answer. It's how many really cars have, defects we got. So I'll just do the exact same as a percentage. 1/20th times 340 cars. And that if you do that, put in your calculator, or if you could just halve that, it would be 17 cars. Because if I cancel 0, 0 and halve the 34, I will get 17 cars. That's all for today's lesson. Well done.